tu raikan dan nobatkan you punya buku kenalah tulis betul kan.
Ya. Hari ni The First Step, kenapa ada kapal kalau kawan-kawan rakan-rakan hadirin tengok di situ? Kerana kita rasa sebenarnya Belia Perhatian ini adalah satu kembara yang kita tak rancang. Dan macam bila kita naik kapal, kita tak tahu tengah laut tu ada apa.
Betul.
Mungkin ada tsunami, mungkin kapal layar tu tak bergerak sebab tak ada angin.
Religion, imagine if everybody go through life, kita punya journey, we leave the world slightly better than when we enter. I kata wow, betul juga And remember agama tu nasihat, you got to remind each other all the time. Kan?
Betul.
Dengan kebenaran, dengan sabar. Those who are really sincere are always in a state of worry. They're not sure, aku ni betul ke sincere? Oh my god, this really hit me.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Kembali kita dalam sesi khas Jaga Bumi di Bursa Knowledge Center. Saya Rijal
dan saya Lokman.
Ya. Dan hari ini merupakan satu sesi khas yang cukup istimewa untuk Kelab Belia Perhatian Malaysia, kerana hari ini kita akan menyambut 5 tahun ulang tahun Kelab Belia Perhatian dan juga pelancaran buku The First Step. Dan bila bercakap tentang inilah pandangan saya sebagai Setiausaha Agung, the moment bila Lokman cerita dalam buku The First Step adalah cerita tentang perjuangan lah, basically Kelab Belia Perhatian Malaysia, the leadership. Dan bila orang kata adakah buku ni diterbitkan pada 2025, sebenarnya tidak. Buku ni sebenarnya dia menceritakan tentang perjalanan Kelab Belia Perhatian.
Dia kena print lah, dia print 2025.
Dia print 2025. Tapi dia tak diterbitkan 2025 sebab yang kita cerita adalah perjalanan.
Okay.
So saya nampaklah Lokman dia cuba untuk isi. Tapi yalah, untuk kita nak isi buku tu, kita kena ada banyak intipati yang perlu diterapkan dalam buku ni supaya belia-belia boleh ambil iktibar lah, based on The First Step. Dan benda ni saya fikir yalah, dia bukanlah satu perjalanan yang pendek. 5 tahun merupakan satu perjalanan yang panjang, setengah dekad. Susah payah. Tapi hari ini kita ada dengan pemegang-pemegang taruh kita yang hadir, yang sebenarnya banyak memberi sokongan untuk kita jayakan 5 tahun, mungkin 10 tahun dan ke depan lah,
50 tahun insyaAllah. Tapi
insya
apa pun Rizal, hari ini seperti yang kita semua dah maklum, hari ini kita ada satu tetamu yang sangat istimewa. Tak lain tak bukan Tan Sri Azman Mukhtar, seorang tokoh korporat yang saya kira semua orang dalam bilik ataupun dewan ini sekarang dah mengenali beliau. Kerana ialah bukan sahaja impaknya kepada satu dua orang yang mungkin ada di dalam ruangan ini, tapi juga kita semua secara tak langsung terima apa manfaat ataupun sepanjang Tan Sri suatu masa dulu menjadi mantan pengarah urusan Khazanah Nasional Berhad. Apapun
the one moment yang saya ingat lah, the one that when the 2018 you was keluar, and then orang sampai menangis. I was remember that ramai orang dan ada yang menangis sedih kan, sebab
selepas 14 tahun. Tapi apa pun Rizal, mungkin anekdot itu kita simpan sikit sekejap. Apa pun kita nak ucap selamat datang Tan Sri sekali lagi, dan terima kasih kerana sudi bersama dengan kita dalam sambutan 5 tahun ini. Apa khabar Tan Sri?
Khabar baik, syukur Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Terima kasih Lokman dan Rijal. Rijal. Terima kasih.
Rizal lah, sambung balik anekdot tadi.
So basically itulah. Dan untuk mungkin pengetahuan, yalah, Tan Sri figura penting dalam tokoh korporat. Cuma untuk mungkin ada penonton dan pendengar kita mungkin masih muda dan tidak mengenali Tan Sri Azman Mukhtar. So basically Tan Sri Azman Mukhtar adalah merupakan mantan pengurusi Khazanah,
pengurusi itu Perdana Menteri,
pengarah urusan Khazanah Nasional Berhad, dan telah berkhidmat daripada 2004 sehingga 2018, iaitu 14 tahun. Dan gross dia, production dia, achievement by Khazanah adalah 82.3 bilion That was the
semasa
goals.
Tan Sri menjadi
Alhamdulillah.
pengarah
Urusan. Managing director.
82 bilion tu banyak.
Banyak? Cukup banyak. Dan Tan Sri Azman Mokhtar juga sekarang adalah pengurusi majlis bagi Pusat Antarabangsa bagi Pendidikan dalam kewangan Islam, Insaf University, dan juga merupakan lembaga pengarah Universiti Teknologi Malaysia.
UTM.
Ya, UTM. Dan inilah itu di peringkat nasional lah. Dan di peringkat antarabangsa pula, Tan Sri juga adalah merupakan dalam antara lembaga penasihat Pusat Teknologi dan Pengurusan Pembangunan di Universiti Oxford. Jawatan Kuasa Pemandu Inisiatif Kewangan Etika Global, dan juga Pusat Pengurusan Pembangunan dan Majlis Penasihat Pelaburan Kerajaan Arab Saudi. Dan hari ini mungkin bagi saya personally, mungkinlah untuk seluruh kelab belia Prihatin Malaysia, kita rasa banggalah kerana Tan Sri dapat duduk dengan saya. Dan saya fikir benda tu kalau saya di umur Tan Sri pun belum tentu untuk saya capai benda tu. Mungkin hari ni kita akan bukalah perbincangan bagaimana nak dapat apa yang Lokman kata cheat code tadi.
Cheat code. Okey.
Cheat code
Okey, boleh.
Cheat code yang pertama, Tan Sri.
Alright. Okey, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon. Pokal bahasa Melayu
Boleh
boleh. Okey, tak apa tahu. Kita boleh tukar channel, no problem. Pertama sekali saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada podcast Jaguh Bumi, betul Jaguh Bumi, dan juga Kelab Belia Prihatin di bawah kepimpinan Saudara Lokman atas undangan hari inilah. Dan juga saya nak ucapkan terima kasih kepada rakan lama saya, Tan Sri Farid, Abdul Farid alias Chairman Bursa Malaysia, memberikan tempat dan ruang dan masa. Kerana ini penting, generasi yang mana-mana generasi ini, antara dia punya tanggungjawab untuk menerima apa yang kita terima daripada generasi yang dulu tu, yang kemudian kita cuba kalau boleh kena tambah nilai lah, value add So imagine kalau every generation dia value add, dia tak value apa opposite value add, value minus. So ada seorang kawan saya pandailah dia, bijak dia kata religion lah, ni agama dia is cool guy, I mean orang baik tapi not particularly religious. Orang kata, dia kata religion, imagine if everybody go through life, kita punya journey, we leave the world slightly better than when we enter. I kata wow, betul juga Maksudnya kalau each one of us, every insan dalam sini, and those that we know and we love dear to us, imagine kalau everybody, therefore first of all jangan jadi makhluk perosak. Jaga bumi tu, bumi, langit semua kan. So if we go through life, we try our best, tak usah merosak lah, don't do anything negative kan. Because sometimes to do something positive not so easy lah, because there will be constraint, this and that But don't do anything negative. Orang kata do no harm first, and then you try to do some good. Pepatah Melayu buat baik pada, buat jahat jangan sekali. Betul So itu ingat, pada saya itu banyak wisdom, banyak kebijaksanaan. Pepatah Melayu, orang tua-tua kata, engkau ni jangan buat rosak atas bumi. Cuba buat baik, kalau boleh buat baik, tapi jangan buat rosak. Itu penting. To me, that is one of the 12 Lokman lah, dia suruh dengan mana Dr. Hilmi, dia yang cari saya dulu dekat Rusia dengan PM So Dr. Hilmi Liberal Latte kan, punya bos, dia kata, can you write dia? Aku kata, okay lah. Later I regret, bukan I regret tak nak tulis. Deadline. Pasal kita normally benda ni, Tan Sri Farid tahu lah, you agree some time ago, and then when the deadline come lah, saya alamak, why did I agree? Kena tulis, to raikan dan nobatkan you punya buku, kenalah tulis betul kan. So dalam ni, dia orang belum terima lagi
Belum.
Pasal belum launch.
Boleh dapat di luar.
Nanti later you will read, because Saudara Lokman tanya saya, the question or the brief was asked, what do you tell the next generation?
Ya.
Saya fikir. Nanti later I will explain sikit. So antaranya ialah the principle of do no harm first, which is a so-called golden rule, do no harm. So kalau those who become doctors, for example, the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm first, right? Kan yang nak jadi doktor. Betul lah tu, it applies to life.
Ya.
Do some good. So I think, I thought that's a good place to start. But even before that, actually I should thank Tan Sri Farid dengan Bursa. Saya nak buat anekdot sedikit, kemudian kembali kepada pengacara dengan you all host, which is, pasal ni cerita generasi kan. So tadi masa sampai dengan Tan Sri Farid, I said, bro, ingat tak dulu very first time I met Tan Sri Farid, I nak test dia, I ingat. Tengok dia pun ingat. Roughly 30 years ago, 30 tahun So you talk 30 years ni, 25-30 years is one generation lah, roughly. So it's one generation ago. That means, I don't know about you man, aku in my early 30s lah. Tan Sri Farid maybe even below 30, right, at that time. Both of us pergi dekat office SC lama, masa lama lah, because gelap, bilik tu gelap. Dua-dua nak cek lesen, nak jadi investment advisor. Okay, so you have to be licensed by Securities Commission. I believe you were with JF, Jardine Fleming, big firm, Jardine Fleming, UK, Scottish, they started in Scotland. I must have been with UBS 30 years ago, Union Bank of Switzerland. So kita orang budak-budak UBS, kita ada t-shirt tau, UBS yang logo, lepas tu bawah tu, ni unauthorized lah, now I boleh cerita, we put the BS in UBS. For investment bankers, kalau dia kata, you are a reptile, kita kata thank you. Bad joke. So Tan Sri Yaaub, Tan Sri Farid went on to run Maybank, of course, our largest bank. So, so alhamdulillah, I cannot help but reflect on that symmetry. 30 years ago, both of us belia at that time. Kalau tak belia pun beliau
Dia belia plus you.
Itulah. So, tu saya tanya Lokman tadi masa duduk kat luar. Saya, man, kau punya belia ni berapa dia punya had? Dia kata, 18 to 30 is belia. Kalau lepas tu dia tambah you jadi beliau lah. Jadi saya rasa Tan Sri Farid masa tu dia belia, saya beliau.
Okay.
Or slightly, straddling those two things. But you can't help but reflect. Here were two youngish professionals, perhaps not quite at the start, not quite first steps, but fairly early on their journey. And today we meet Tan Sri Farid as, chairman of Bursa. I mean, this is Bursa, right? So dulu tu kita orang dua junior brokers or ni nak kena cek lesen. Alhamdulillah, over the years, of course, we were together. Tan Sri Farid joined us di Khazanah, and then of course he went on to chart a big career the largest bank, Maybank lah. Enough said, I still think you're too young to retire, okay? Pada saya lah, tapi tak apa lah. So alhamdulillah, itu antara anekdot. Second anecdote, which is related, we are now in macam your library, what do you call this place? Annex, knowledge center, resource center. Yeah. Which is also, there's a nice story, and some of my ex-Khazanah colleagues are here. Khazanah dulu di Twin Towers kan, KLCC. Tingkat 33 tu, dia punya footprint tu ada yang bulat tu. That bulat for us, 33rd floor was our library. Okay. Macam ni juga lah, lebih kurang dia punya setting, very nice, buku. So you're amongst buku, right? So I was telling Tan Sri Farid, round about the year 2004, bila saya start di Khazanah, I got a phone call from a certain lady who's not here with us, but she was very much part of our journey. Siapa ingat Puan Syukoria? Ingat tak? Dia jaga library dulu kan? Oh, ingat? You all. So Syukoria was actually the librarian at Bursa. That time Tan Sri Azlan Hashim, chairman, tak silap saya, executive chairman lah that time. So Syukoria I happen to know because I was a junior accountant somewhere dekat Lembaga Elektrik Negara, not even tenaga. For some reason, I pergi library. kalau bukan nak kata apa lah, kalau ikut my track record masa kat sekolah lah, I pergi library, frankly that was the coolest place in MCKK lah. Dia sejuk pasal ada aircon. Saya ada gambar tengah tidur. No, but maybe meresap aura buku ni penting, dia boleh meresap masuk, I hope. So anyway, Syukuria call because now can talk lah, one generation later. Apparently in the name of cost cutting, Bursa shut down some of their regional libraries. Apparently ada di Kuantan, di I don't know where, up north ke mana. So dia kata, Tan Sri, we got all these books. I kata, okay, kita orang nak start, I think we should have a library lah. So the core collection, 33rd floor, was from Bursa actually. Was from Bursa. In fact, we not only got the books, we got the librarian as well. She came and joined us. So life is like that. So life, you never know. Bila your journey start, dengan niat baik, you know, hasrat baik, orang baik-baik, somehow, insyaAllah, of course, you know, nanti ada one chapter, how to get lucky. Important to get lucky, luck matters, okay. Mudah-mudahan, you know, kalau dilorongkan, jadilah benda tu, insyaAllah. Sorry panjang sikit. So I thought some
saya rasa itu permulaan yang cukup baik sebab buku kita hari ini the first step yang Tan Sri pun sumbangkan satu naskah untuk dijadikan peringatan kepada generasi. Sebenarnya ada kesinambungan mungkin bukan secara langsung dengan buku yang Tan Sri sendiri tulis, iaitu Kembara Kereta Api. Saya jumpa Tan Sri beberapa bulan lepas, saya dapat autograf. Kalau nanti nak autograf boleh juga selepas ini. Tapi mungkin Tan Sri ceritakan like literally your journey daripada Malaysia, pusing keliling dunia sampai ke Malaysia balik. Tapi yang hari ini the first step, kenapa ada kapal, kalau kawan-kawan rakan-rakan hadirin tengok di situ, kerana kita rasa sebenarnya Belia Perhatian ini adalah satu kembara yang kita tak rancang. Dan macam bila kita naik kapal, kita naik apa orang panggil, ini kapal lah kan? Kapal. Sebab bukan saya yang design buku ni. Bahtera. So bila kita naik bahtera ni, kadang-kadang kita tak tahu tengah laut tu ada apa.
Betul.
Mungkin ada tsunami, mungkin ada apa orang panggil, saya tengok dokumentari tu, kadang-kadang kapal layar tu tak bergerak sebab tak ada angin. Dia panggil apa, still apa entah, saya lupa. Tapi itulah kehidupan kita juga, Tan Sri. You've been literally circumnavigate.
Tapi tak naik kapal lah.
Tapi tak naik kapal.
Naik kereta api.
Naik kereta api. Dan
ada
kami
naik kapal tapi sikit, tapi mostly kereta api.
Ya, dan kami sedang cuba untuk melayari kehidupan ini dengan mungkin satu kembara dan pelayaran yang kita pun tak yakin apa ada di depan.
Boleh buat.
Tan Sri nak share.
Boleh.
Kita ramai orang muda dekat.
No, I think first of all boleh buat.
Okay?
Boleh buat. Remember, of course dengan izin Allah, dengan apa semua kan. But boleh buat. This is what I want you to know. Okay. Then yang tadi tu, buat baik berpada-pada, buat jahat yang sekali. The baik berpada-pada tu actually, the word berpada-pada tu actually very wise. It doesn't matter big ke, small ke, medium size ke, you punya contribution doesn't matter. Because all of us nak kena jawab, kalau Allah Ta'ala bagi you lebih, you kena buat lebih lah. Kalau dia tak bagi lebih, it's okay. Nothing wrong, right? Nothing wrong. So that's why yang lebih tu tadi, kadang be careful, jangan minta banyak-banyak sangat. Because the more he gives you, is actually not ours, not yours. Dia bagi title ke, position ke, power ke, money ke, wealth ke, good looks ke, whatever. All these are actually anugerah and therefore amanah. So kau kena jawab nanti, how much have you delivered based on your whatever given to you lah. If you're not given much, it's okay. Kau buat banyak tu, that's very noble. So don't worry. Yang penting don't do harm. Kau jangan, as I said, if you cannot be part of the solution, don't be part of the problem. Don't add to the problem. So you know, and I'm convinced actually, sedikit sebanyak pun buat sikit pun tak apa. It's okay, tapi konsisten. Itu penting istiqamah. Macam for example, I saw a book called Sang Kancil or something like that. Somebody wrote a book. I don't know the author, but one of the fellows they quoted was somebody I'm working with lah, my supervisor masa buat masters kat Cambridge lah. Dr. Hajun Cheng, quite a famous economist. Hajun somehow quoted, one of the sang kancil ni, dia kata yang kecil-kecil ni pun can make a big difference actually. Don't underestimate actually. Don't underestimate. Yang penting niat baik, ikhlas, etc. and usaha. Itu yang penting. So one of it was, remember there was that lady, I don't know who this lady is, yang tape cerita 1MDB dulu, ingat tak?
Claire Brown. Claire Brown.
I don't know who this lady. No, government servant, civil servant. Dia part of AG's chambers ke apa. She attended a meeting. I don't think, strictly speaking, she was supposed to do that, but she had a higher calling. This lady, dia tape. Ni jadi evidence later.
Yeah.
Ingat tak? So relatively junior person. Saya tak kenal dia. I kata tabit. So imagine if everybody do their bit actually. This is my point. Yang advisor, yang lawyer, yang I don't know, whatever, accountant, banker kan. If everybody kata, no, I'm not going to do this. You may not be able to solve everything. So your generation, like all generation, nak kena buat.
Yeah.
So jangan perlekehkan yang you rasa ni tak confident. Of course lah, the whole world, the bahtera. Yeah, at one level it's quite scary.
Yeah.
However, you refer to 2018 kan. So dalam 2018 tu saya tulis lah surat bukan surat cinta, surat cinta juga lah to my staff, since they gave me such a nice farewell, alhamdulillah kan. So surat ni 5 page, because that time macam-macam lah orang cerita, so I had to clarify a few things. I wanted to thank them. So one of the point was actually this: a ship is meant to sail. Very important.
Yeah.
So kapal ni kerja dia untuk berlayar lah. Kalau kapal yang duduk dekat berlabuh je, memanglah dia tak karam, dia tak ada storm, tak ada apa, tapi dia tak ke mana.
Dia tak diuji.
Correct.
Tak teruji.
So kita insan, you nak karamahkan, nak jadi insan karamah, a noble person lah. You kena berlayar. Macam mana you berlayar, cara where you going is of course ni lah another matter, because you cannot hide actually. For example, has to be said,
Yep.
This genocide happening di Gaza kan, so kita tengok pun, my God, this doesn't, tak tahu apa nak kata lagi kan. And in fact that one we should reflect, there is an akhirat lah, because without akhirat all this, everything doesn't make sense. Because only in this world memang banyak yang unfair, yang tak betul, tapi kita usaha. This is the test lah. But the significance of the belayar tu tadi is that you must continue to strive, because this is the point of the journey. So before I pass back to you, so back to the first step journey. So dalam ni nanti later lah, because since you all belum ni lagi kan akan launch, I think jadi 13 muka surat in this relatively small format. I still remember 2,700 words. So once you ask me to write, dah tak boleh berhenti dah. So tulis 2,000. My former staff know lah, I'm a bit long-winded nak buat macam mana. That's me. Because jalan tu banyak, dia long winding road. Cerita tu Beatles yang lagu. But anyway. So my title was Bijak Sana, Bijak Sini. Selected provisions for your journey. So kalau kita kupaskan a few things there. Provision, apakah provision? Bekalan lah. Bekalan Bekalan, I highlighted 12 lah dalam ni. Antaranya Luqman, yang nombor 2 tu saya quote nama awak tau. Surah Luqman. So Luqman Al-Hakim nasihat kepada anak dia, engkau nak minta antara petua-petua, what better than surah Luqman. A father very tender. I mean, these are words of the Quran. Punya advice kan, jangan syirik, jaga mak bapak, jangan sombong, cakap sederhana, etc. kan, amar ma'ruf nahi munkar. So it's all there actually. Any talks of this nature, baca itu je cukup, boleh tutup lah, that's it, more or less. Of course kita digalakkan. So bekalan, then the concept of journey itself, circle back to your point tadi. Yang tadi tu cerita naik kereta api, because after I left Khazanah, apa nak buat so I kata kita dah lama mimpi, almost 40 tahun saya nak keliling dunia naik, in this case kereta api lah. So I was probably, I don't know, in my maybe 19 years old actually. I read this book called The Great Railway Bazaar. So kalau you Google, this is a travel classic in the genre of travel literature by this guy called Paul Theroux. Paul Theroux great travel writer. So buku ni dia cerita pasal Paul Theroux naik kereta api keluar daripada London, Victoria Station, which as you know goes to, and then dia cross into the continent. He went through Iran, India semua, masuk Malaysia actually, landed up, dia nak pergi Japan, which he did, tapi China in 1975 tak boleh masuk. Okay, so dia masuk ni, went through whatever, Japan, then dia balik ke London melalui Trans-Siberian Railway. So I remember reading this, I must have been 19 years old or 18. I kata, wow, bestnya. Because you're young, so I will qualify lah 18 kelab belia prihatin. So saya belia dan prihatin lah kot. Semua the whole world, you know, you're excited. Of course, it took me 40 years actually to have the chance to actually do it. The reason is you need the idea lah. In this case, the inspiration came from this book. You need the time, which you don't have along the way, certainly not while working full time. You need some money. Ramai orang tanya how much? 77 days, 77 train. Orang segan-segan tanya. Actually, I can tell you, 20,000 US. Okay. Which is, if you calculate, I mean, dia campur Ada yang very murah dekat Thailand tu nak pergi Cambodia tu like $1 tak sampai. Okay. Tapi ada yang gila-gila lah, like Orion Express kan, kena pakai taksido semua tu. So then you average out lah. So 20 US sekarang pergi haji pun dah berapa kan. So you know, of course that's bigger journey. So okay. So alhamdulillah, then you need later I discovered you need the world to be open because 3 months after I came back, the world shut down, COVID. So I call this 77 trains BC, before COVID. Before COVID. So kalau anyone, actually it was a very private trip. I just printed, macam my wife lah rajin masa COVID, dia buat photo book. I bagi kat kawan-kawan I met along the way. And one of them happened to be this rather famous journalist out of New York lah, Gillian Tett. Gillian wrote this dalam Financial Times. And suddenly this thing became ni, orang invite I merata-rata lah to give a talk. So it's on my website, siapa yang interested. Buku tu kalau saya berucap or rather bagi talk dekat apa, Liberality. All proceeds for Gaza. Okay, so cerita Gaza tadi nak habiskan. Now the moment of truth, the masks have been removed. So you have to decide which side of history you want to be on. Ni tak banyak pasal now banyak berpura-pura. Dulu banyak berpura-pura. So you have to decide, and your generation. So this one is about bijaksana means, because perkataan wisdom kan. Kalau bahasa Melayu dia bijaksana. So I reflect lah, dia bijak kat sana, betul lah tu. Tapi hang nak bijak kat sana, you kena bijak kat sini juga. And that is the heart of it lah. Okay, boleh. Okay,
saya rasa Tan Sri sebenarnya, kalau rakan-rakan yang tak tahu, Tan Sri orang utara, lagi spesifiknya Perak.
Bukan, saya actually Southerner tapi cakap macam utara.
Southerner? Sebab Tan Sri
saya
belajar
lahir Melaka 04 IC. My mother Johor. My dear wife Johor 100%. Okay. So kami kalau pergi balik raya One Direction lah. Dia One Direction, dia tak ada no argument. Dia One Direction.
Tapi Tan Sri belajar di...
Tapi saya belajar di Kuala Kangsar. And as those of you who went to boarding school or campus mana-mana pun, dia tahu, I think orang utara ni dia peramah kot. Dia pandai cakap lok-lak So as a result, they colonize the language, lingua franca of most campuses, including ours.
Rizal orang utara. So saya pass battle kat dia bagi sebagai orang utara.
Saya di Sungai Petani.
Orang Sungai Petani. Okey, Paklah dekat-dekat ni.
So dan banyak penonton dan pendengar kita pada hari ini adalah datangnya daripada korporat lah. So basically ada UKM juga, Faculty Economy. So diorang pun bakal menjadi orang korporat. Dan dalam banyak benda dalam buku The First Step tu, Tan Sri banyak tekankan tentang amanah dan peranan sebagai khalifah. Mungkin dari segi korporat ni dia ada tekanan dia. Mungkin Tan Sri boleh bagi kata-katalah on macam mana you nak remain amanah tu.
Sure. Yeah, I think betul lah tu. I think di korporat ni orang at one level, orang bayangkan dia korporat buat duit. Betul lah tu. Kerana itu amanah kita, memanglah nak kena buat duit. Cara you buat duit tu, of course, very important lah. At one level ada undang-undang. You know, you can't do this, you can't, ada regulation, ada macam-macam kan. But another level, surely what is the apa nama? The reason for being, so slightly philosophical, what is the purpose of business, for example? So as you know, tadi you referred to apa? SDG kan? SDG bagus, itu lebih daripada business lah. It's about how membangunkan ekonomi, masyarakat, dunia, environment, etc. kan? Then ada ESG.
Yeah.
So after SDG, the ESG movement, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years or so came up gradually, and then more than gradually lah, it exploded. Perhaps the 2008, dah lama dah pun, Lehman crisis, remember? This was a shock to the financial and also the business world. And then I think few years after that, there was a famous statement by this thing called Business Roundtable. So kalau alih-alih you Google, this is like the macam dia punya chamber of commerce lah, paling besar dekat US, who are very hardcore financial. Datuk Fadil, how are you, my brother? Datuk Fadil dengan saya pun kenal lama. So the Business Roundtable, Datuk Fadil.
Sila.
So I'm not the host. Datuk Fadil, kita qualify not as belia but as beliau apparently. So apa nama cerita apa tadi? Amanah.
ESG and business.
Business Roundtable. So remember this Business Roundtable, who are very kind of hardcore, what they call neoclassical, neoliberal even. Dia punya statement earlier, the purpose of business is business, nothing else. And then after the Lehman crisis, they came out, dia kata purpose of business got to also consider stakeholder lah, dan lain kan. And then you remember this guy Larry Fink. Siapa tahu Larry Fink? Bosa sure tahu kan. So Larry Fink, he's basically the chief of BlackRock, who now manage 14 trillion US dollars, something like that, the world's largest fund manager lah. So happen bukan nak show off, I hope ni. We were in the room in New York when this thing called Focusing Capital for the Long Term, a bit of a mouthful, FCLT was formed. So we were the only one from Asia. Sekarang dah ramai lah, termasuk apa semua masuk. Dominic Button, McKinsey, Larry Fink, BlackRock, and this guy Mark Weissman of Canadian Pension lah. Later Mark joined BlackRock. Mark ni semua came to speak at our Megatrends. So dia orang kata, we must translate this into long-term investing, must think about stakeholders. So Larry Fink punya famous letter to shareholders in January every year suddenly talk about purpose. Talk about what stakeholder economy. I kata, wow, ini the kind of thing we were talking about in Khazanah, frankly, in 2005. Boleh cari lah, 405 orang kata kita ni gila, because the shareholder value movement was the primal philosophy, right? So my view is always, and somehow it went there. The problem with SDG, ESG, after a while banyak MSG. Boleh, I can talk about this in Bursa. Bursa also don't like greenwashing. Kalau cerita Islamic finance, I'm on record. I kata the problem, baguslah Islamic finance, dia banyak, yang tu tadi dia green flagging. Benda tu not so Islamic pun dia panggil Islamic.
Diarabkan. Diarabkan orang ingat Islamic.
No, don't go to Arab lah. No, meaning, so maksudnya antara alam maya dengan alam nyata, you kena cari apa yang betul lah. Then the point about every generation, okay? So dalam ni dia punya muqaddimah slightly long in my 13-page piece is trying to talk about every generation thinks they're different, okay? In fact, I started with a quote by this guy called George Orwell lah, right? Dia kata every generation think they're special. Every generation normal kan? Kalau kita bincang macam you all dengan mak bapak, I dengan mak bapak, I kata dulu zaman I, kalau budak-budak MCKK tu kita meluat dengan DMT kan, during my time. So all these old boy during my time, kata mangkuk. Now kita orang dah tua, during my time. I mean, it's habitual, okay? So every generation seems to think they're different, which is probably true. Every generation different. But I try to make the case, not every generation are different but not special in that sense. Or rather special tapi different but you're different because of tetapi same. Sounds paradoxical kan. Then I make the point that zaman saya dulu, Yalah, this was great time, good time kan, market booming. You know, we benefited. Cerita tadi earlier with your chairman, cerita first time we met, dia apply nak jadi investment advisor kat SC. Kena buat exam, kena buat interview. Farid was, Tan Sri was with JF, I was with UBS. You know, so every generation ni, tetapi you have to believe that Allah Ta'ala, our creator, is yang maha pengasih, maha penyayang, maha kuasa. So he gives us challenge, he also gives us help actually. Every generation. Tinggal the nature of the challenge, the help tu tukar-tukar lah. Okay, so don't worry. You boleh buat, you akan buat. Tapi banyaklah dia punya cabang-cabang, distraction, temptation, this and that. So really the journey is about how do you go through this, because so one thing people do sometimes, they hide. The ship doesn't sail. Hiding is not good enough, guys. Live a life. Hidup ini suatu anugerah yang sangat precious dan besar. So live a life. So don't worry, ini tak boleh. The other thing is individual. Second, berjemaah. You have to do this collectively. So antaranya your club ni baguslah berjemaah. And remember, agama tu nasihat. You got to remind each other all the time. Kan?
Betul.
Dengan kebenaran, dengan sabar. You know that. I always tell my children, do what Papa say, okay? Don't necessarily follow Papa. Kita no. And then they laugh at me. But anyway, please.
Ya, saya rasa sememangnya lah kita rasa dan sebab sebelum ni pun kami ada beberapa siri dengan tokoh-tokoh yang mungkin datang daripada generasi berbeza. Cuma mungkin Tan Sri, untuk soalan seterusnya ini saya nak cuba lagi korek daripada Tan Sri, apa lagi yang boleh kami buat untuk kita make sure bila ada masalah kita bukanlah nak apa orang panggil ambil ataupun kita nak mengelak masalah tu. Sebab saya rasa tadi Tan Sri sebut sebagai amanah. Mungkin bila Tan Sri sebut berkenaan dengan higher calling, kadang-kadang kita rasa yang perkara itu, sebab saya pun pernah rasa bila kita buat kelab Boleh Prihatin, kita decide untuk buat apa yang mungkin orang lain tak buat. Orang lain masa 30-an, 20-an, orang lain join corporate. Saya dulu pernah join corporate dengan satu syarikat penerbangan. Rizal dulu di syarikat membina salah satu mercu tanda kedua bangunan tertinggi di Malaysia, tapi dia berhenti untuk buat kelab Boleh Prihatin. Tapi sebenarnya perspektif ataupun pandangan masyarakat, kenapa you berhenti bekerja dan kenapa you buat benda yang you buat sekarang ni? So apa motivasi yang mungkin Tan Sri nak bagi pada kami dan bagi pada yang belakang tu, yang banyak-banyak yang berdiri?
Ya, saya cuba saya ni kadang-kadang lah selalu dia scatter brain. Kejap sini, kejap sana. So tadi to complete you cerita pasal amanah kan. Why I talk about amanah and try to do, because I kena rationalize kan. So tadi tu purpose of business. So we always felt that of course kita punya primary duty, kita investment house, kenalah create value dari segi pelaburan, right? Kalau tidak, you got nothing else to talk. I mean, if you don't do that, then you got no legitimacy lah in that job, right? But also to try and contribute, because kita sovereign fund for the country lah. What does it mean? Talent development. So Puan Sharin used to run Talent Corp, for example. Jadi and so therefore it was a bigger conception. Okay, amanah tu is actually kena bila sorry saya bukan ustaz, tapi dalam the one ayat Quran saya quote in my farewell letter was Suratul Nisa ayat 58. Ni ayat berkenaan Allah Ta'ala bagi amanah berikan amanah tu kepada yang ahli. Penting ahli means those who are qualified, and then orang yang terima amanah tu, they have to berlaku adil actually. Apakah itu adil? Dan kalau you kupas, adil kalau kita refer to Syed Naqib Al-Atas lah, our great sheikh. So Syed Naqib kata adil tu you put the right things in the right place with the right adab. Tu adil. I kata wow, ni very deep lah. So what does it mean on khazanahnya kerja? For example, bila ada leadership position, very important, siapa yang ahli. you try to match that as best as you can. Then, for example, making investments, putting things in the right place. So too deep lah. How deep is your love is another matter lah. How deep is the work that you want to do, itu commitment kan. So itu penting. So back to apa question you tadi?
Dia Tan Sri dah lalu lah. Basically kita beza umur lebih kurang 30 tahun.
Right.
So kalau Tan Sri nak apa orang panggil, nak bagi motivasi lah dekat kita yang mungkin tak ambil jalan yang kebiasaannya orang ambil, which kerja corporate, you know.
I think itulah, kalau you accept that you can contribute in many ways lah, banyak cara kan. The corporate line is one line. Buat NGO another line kan. You buat I don't know, the academia, university another line. Politik, orang kata politik, I kata no, politik in theory at least is can be the most noble profession actually, because you affect so many people in theory lah. Practice, banyak cerita lagi kan. So I think we should keep an open mind. There are many paths actually. So kalau you bayangkan the kiasan dia, the analogy is panjat bukit, gunung, we all wanting to go the same place kan. There are many paths. The question is at which then you apply time, journey kan, journey. So kalau you baca saya punya website adalah bagi talk. I'm a bit obsessed about journey. The idea of 7-year cycle, panjang cerita lah dalam tu. Dia at each stage of the cycle lain tau. So for example, bila saya budak-budak, anak-anak saya, kita pun, so you nak balance kan, family, balance your amanah, balance your agama or your belief system. At different stages is different. So when my kids were growing up, as a father, you kena spend somehow time, tapi kerja ada banyak kan. Then kena pakat lah. In this case with my dear wife. She's not here today. Many of you know my dear wife. I don't mind sharing lah. When we first got married, gaji dia lagi besar. Tapi she gave up a very promising career as an architect in order to kita berpakat. This is called division of labor, portfolio construction lah. Kalau dalam the R-squares and all that, dia punya kan. So I think if you have to go through that journey, then I cannot say right or wrong what this and that, but balance is the key. Okay. If you have time, I just want to brief you because dalam ni you boleh baca lah. Ni kira surface juga ni 12 so-called bekalan lah yang saya nampak lah. Right or wrong, and I made the caveat. This is for me lah. For you all, you got to figure out yourself. Tapi I'm just sharing my viewpoint.
Banyak dalam 12 tu kan ada
dia dah baca you dapat advance copy lah
on companion, about balance, about amanah, betul. Yang Tan Sri dah terapkan dalam buku The First Step. Mungkin untuk penonton dan pendengar mungkin boleh belilah buku The First Step. Dan last, mungkin Tan Sri ada pesanan akhir untuk belia-belia yang ada pada hari ini.
Thank you. I think itulah dah since ni peluncuran kan tak lancar dia. Pelancaran. Apa beza lancar dengan luncur? Tak apa. Never mind. Since you're launching the book,
peluncur is meluncur like ski.
Oh, ski.
So lancar is
lancar.
Like
okay. So lancar. You nak lancar buku saya, so you will receive copy lah. Belilah banyak kan lah. So as I said, since apakah message kepada generasi akan datang. So my first message to you is boleh buat. So tanamkan kat zaman. Because apa yang you nak buat tu pun, don't worry. Orang ni buat besar, ni glamour, yang ni masuk Instagram follower ramai, don't worry about all that. You do what you can and then you do. But before that, do no harm, okay? Do no harm. If you cannot be part of the solution, at least don't add to the problem. Okay, boleh buat, okay, itu first point. Second point, kata yang generation ni, panjang sikit I cerita lah, because I took an opportunity to explain my generation. Hopefully we're leaving you a world slightly better on that definition. Nanti your turn, we're just passing the baton, no? Don't drop the baton, you pass the baton in a better position than when you received it. Itu je. Okay, so antaranya macam ni lah, ilmu, sharing, mentoring, yang boleh kan. Okay, then I went on to give at least 12 bekalan very quickly. First, what I kata, find your true north. apakah dia punya true north. Panjang cerita lah, purpose kan. Ramai orang cerita purpose. So in this case, I try to frame dari segi bijak sana, bijak sini. A bit of a wordplay. But ni. Second point, divine guidance. This is where you start. So I quote your name lah. Surah Luqman, antara ayat 12 hingga 18. Everything there. And what could be more profound than ayat Quran and a father advising a son, since this is intergenerational. I cannot be there lah, that's it. This is the first, in many ways, last word lah. Tapi we also encourage, kupaskan all this wisdom. The third is, I said, find and hold on to your golden rules. In my experience, dalam pengalaman saya, everybody adalah pegangan dia masing-masing. Yang ni menarik, mungkin tu menarik, you know, ni masing-masing. For me, two things, which I already said, yang buat baik berpada-pada, buat jahat jangan sekali. But also something a bit more personal. Nasihat I received from my late father and also a mentor in school, in MCKK. Dia simple je, 2 word. Dia kata, be reasonable. Be reasonable. So bila bapak, tapi ada intonasi dia lain. My late father bila dia kata, man, be reasonable, kena marah lah tu. And then bila my mentor ni, dia kata, dia panjang cerita lah, Syed Jugan, dia Kuala Kedah, dia jaga nelayan, crazy guy. But dia taiko lah in school. Dia kata, be reasonable. That help lah. So running Khazanah ni, you kena balance macam-macam kan. Macam Maybank, macam-macam. So you have to be reasonable, okay? Boleh percaya, okay, itu penting. Then fourth, life is an amanah, dah cerita sikit kan, the concept of khalifah.
Yep.
Kemudian I kata, you all, especially you all, at this stage of your journey, jangan lupa, you have a duty to grow and develop. Because a fundamental amanah is yourself actually. Allah Ta'ala dah bagi you waras, fikiran, cukup, cukup sendi, everything cukup. Ni bukan untuk suka-suka kan. You're given something, be the best you can be actually. Continuous, itu yang kata CPD and all those stuff, right? Then I talk about the 3 A's lah. Ni long story lah. Kalau dalam ni 3 A means you have to have the right aptitude, you have to have the right attitude, and then if you get up there, spoiler alert, up there tu little bit overrated lah. You have to manage altitude. Ni ramai yang fail ramai yang fail because kita human being as a species, we are wired to be resilient lah, handle pain, handle whatever stress. Bukan senang tapi but frankly managing so-called success, nak kesyukuran tu is often harder. It's not easy. Jangan lupa daratan, literally. Okay. Then locate your purpose. Purpose ni panjang cerita lah. So I talk about 3S and 3K. So think about 3 fundamental relationship. Kita dengan creator kita, creator, which of course for Muslim we say Allah Ta'ala. Kita sebagai servant actually, or khadam. Kita sama manusia is about, that relationship is about service actually. How can I be of service to you, to anyone else? I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a boss, I'm a subordinate, I'm a friend. How can I always value add to all my relationships? Imagine if we all do that in a proper way lah, of course, adil tadi kan. So 2S, service. Bahasa Malaysia dia khidmat, the second K. The third K is the khalifah dengan steward. So the relationship as the boss, we're not absolute bosses. We don't own this. You know, it's all held in trust, right? Okay. Then balance. Balance ni panjang cerita lah juga. I kata balance ni fikir dia punya framework 3 masjid. First masjid is the real masjid lah, our relationship. How do you find this balance? The second masjid, apabila orang Melayu kata, apabila you kahwin, dia kata apa? Bina masjid. The Quran says apa? Kahwin tu is like to find sakinah, mawaddah, warahmah. How beautiful is this? Which translates, our eldest daughter was named Sakinah actually. Peace or tranquility, mercy and love. My God. So kalau we get that right, not easy, not easy. You always got to be protected. May you find the right life partners. I, as a father, I doa bila lah dia orang ni nak kahwin kita, belum ada cucu. And then the third masjid is actually your amanah, your vocation, whatever lah. Tak kira, you know, CEO besar ke, big amanah, chairman besar, big amanah. Tak kira lah, kecil besar ke, doesn't matter kan, in that sense. Then anchor your key virtue. Banyak lagi lah. Ada orang ni dah nombor 8. I kata to me, the tiang ibu, there's many virtues lah bila ni start ni. Pada saya, even then I cannot find one lah. Honor, service, courage actually. If you ask me, courage. Kena berani. Berani doesn't mean reckless. Berani must be an adab, etc. Berani to say no. Berani to, macam-macam berani lah. Berani. Courage, I think, is the one that distinguishes many things. Dia banyak lah, virtue lain-lain banyak. Then, nombor 9, boleh
Boleh.
This one, it struck me as I was compiling this list, masa saya di Padang Arafah lah, tabung haji chairman kan, so kena pergi 2023. Somebody, actually kat Padang Arafah, you're not supposed to check your phone lah, ni I check juga lah, jumpa. Tapi dalam WhatsApp, ada orang hantar, bagus. Imam Syafi'i, so the great Imam Syafi'i, one of the 4, great imams, mazhab kita pun, mazhab Syafi'i. Dia kata, all humans are dead except, ada 4 perkara, except those who have knowledge. So semua manusia, insan ni semua, kita ni actually mati kecuali yang ada ilmu. So good lah, we're among books today. Tapi dia kata, mereka yang ada ilmu, mereka tidur, they are asleep. Kecuali those who do good deeds, yang buat amal soleh. Nampak ilmu, amal. Action lah, betul lah tu. In fact, the more ilmu you got, if you don't apply, one boleh makan tuan, 2 kira your error of omission lah. And then those who do good though, that means those who do good are those who got ilmu, who got amal, they do good, are deceived. Oh, this one hit me lah. Deceived, they're delusional. Kecuali those who are sincere, yang ikhlas. So ikhlas itu penting. So those who claim, ramai bukan kata ramai lah, I don't know, I mean people yang ada knowledge, yang so buat good deed. Kena tanya, we have to constantly ask, and here's the punchline. And those who are sincere, i.e. those yang ada ilmu, dia amal, dia rasa dia buat ni dengan keikhlasan. Those who are really sincere are always in a state of worry. They're not sure, aku ni betul ke sincere? Oh my God, this really hit me. I think this muhasabah, humility, is a constant life journey. You are now in your 30s, I know I'm in my 60s. In fact, I ended this 12 thing. I just turned 64. I kata Beatles kan ada lagu, When I'm 64. Tak tahu you all tahu tidak. Okay, then 10, 11, 12 ni cerita pasal among the kupasan from the train journey. I kata, may we choose the right journey. So banyak choice kan. So kalau di Khazanah lu, we always say, do the right things, right in the right way. Bukan nak confuse orang, ada 3 right. In fact, we had a book called, you kata ni first step kan. Buku tu kami panggil apa? Langkah kanan. The first step. The right step, which is actually our, macam apa, SOP, benda-benda macam ni lah. Yang apa, employee punya handbook. Kat kanan. Okay. Because, ramai orang ambil jalan mudah, which is not wrong. Dalam Islam pun kata, buat apa you susah kan. On the other hand, the right path is not even, of course you want it to be, jangan cek penyakit, not necessarily even the happiest path. The right path is the right path. You got to do the right thing always. You cannot run away from your responsibility. Choose the right path. The next one, second last, in choosing the right path, may you have the right travel companion. Itu penting. Who do you travel with? Of course, the most important is your spouse lah. We cannot control. Of course, we are grateful. Our parents, apa semua saudara. Then ni, you nak seangkatan dengan siapa? You must associate with the kau berjemaah. This activity is berjemaah. Dia individual accountability tapi berjemaah punya application. You have to do berjemaah. And last but not least, I kata travel light with a good heart. How to travel light? Because banyak distraction. Ni dalam my talk on the kereta api tu, somehow quoted doa Nabi Ibrahim. So Nabi Ibrahim dia kata, Ya Allah give me wisdom actually. Few verses later, Allah tak ayat dia keluar, dia kata to go through with what dia panggil kalbu salim, a good and sound heart. Back to yang tadi pasal ikhlas tadi. Hati yang sound, tentram. So a lot of it is about the heart, but it's not only the heart lah, but a lot is actually the heart. So that would be what I know now, which I did not know when I was your age lah. Itu je. Thank you.
Yep, saya rasa cukup bermakna sesi kita pada hari ini bersama Tan Sri Azman Mukhtar. Sekali lagi saya nak ucapkan terima kasih, Tan Sri kerana meluangkan masa, bukan sahaja hari ini tapi sebelum ini juga bila kita approach Tan Sri dan Tan Sri bersetuju untuk selitkan satu naskah dalam buku terbitan kita pada tahun ini. Saya harap rakan-rakan yang hadir juga dapat ambil mutiara kata dan hikmah yang kita dengar tadi. Kalau sekali lagi, kalau mungkin ada satu dua benda yang terlepas ataupun nak ulang baca lagi, boleh dapatkan buku di luar sebentar ataupun hari inilah ataupun di kedai-kedai buku berhampiran anda. Rizal, penutup.
Terima kasih Tan Sri. Banyaklah yang benda yang kita boleh apply. Itu saja, dan nantikan dalam episod sesi khas.
Ya, boleh tonton di saluran YouTube kita juga. Saya rasa itu saja. Assalamualaikum dan terima kasih semua.